Good evening. Thank you for joining us at New Day Fellowship Church, going church new vision for a multicultural generation. But thank you for joining us this evening and let you know that if you're on Facebook, Instagram, on the other channels, which is www.thenewdayfellowship.org, just push like, comment, and share. Or if you're on any other ones, just do what you have to do. But we want you to know that we are viewing live, and not only that, but we're excited that you are watching. You could have been doing other things at this present time, but you chose to sit here and watch what is very innovation here at New Day Fellowship Church. Not only that, but we know that God has it all in control. Remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. Not only that, but we're excited that you are watching. Not only that, but we're excited that you're going to not only do that, but you're going to push like, comment, and share with everybody that you know. Everybody, your friends, relatives, don't have to be in the Central Texas area, but anybody that's in Michigan, also in North Carolina, where this man is from, but let you know new things are developing. And not only that, but we're gonna let you know that this is exciting time in Central Texas area. Also, let you know that what to my right, to your left, is a great friend of mine and someone that we've been knowing for such a period of time, and we went on cruises together and just had fun. But the idea is, I want to introduce you all, if you just don't know, to Ronnie Russell. Shall I say, Mr. Ronnie Russell. And Mr. Ronnie Russell is the IBCC president and CEO. And the IBCC stand for Innovational Black Chamber of Commerce of Central Texas. So I'm so excited that he's here sharing some information that we all need to know because, it's more than just living life and being a Christian, but you can have fun and be a Christian at the same time. So, if you just want to stay home and just go to church and that's it, that's your choice and go to work. But the idea, if you want to have fun, you can have good comedy, fun at the same time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll introduce you to Mr. Ronnie Russell.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you here. I'm glad you're here and sharing some information that we all need to instill into our lives. Not only that, but to give us more intellect. And not only that, but I like how you do things. And you have a lot of programs that is showing. And not only that, but it's a AI. If you don't know what AI is, you can ask this gentleman right here because things are still developing. And he does this constantly over and over. And a lot of times it is no cost for the AI. So I'm telling you, it is so awesome. So, Mr. Russell, tell us about you.
So, me, myself, prior military, I was in the military for 22 years and decided to stay here. I actually joined the military out of Hawaii. I joined to get out of Hawaii. You got people that are flying to go to Hawaii, but I joined to get out of Hawaii um, because there was a plane ticket that I didn't have to pay for. So I was like, okay, bet, I'll leave.
Uh,
Join the military, and then with with Fort Hood being my last duty assignment, I decided to stay because originally, I wanted to retire and move to Atlanta,
mhm.
but Texas really been the place. I never wanted to ever come to Texas at all. There was nothing on my wish list that started with the T, but Texas have been very fruitful for me since I've been here. Like as soon as I got to Texas, my son came. I appreciate him for being open to be with his father. He came at 15, and now he's 26 in the Air Force for 6 years. So, and just Texas has been good. As far as where we are in Central Texas with the state of artificial intelligence as well as innovation, I think presently where we are right now, we're still at the cusp. There are still so much new technology, so much new innovation that we all have the same opportunity to learn about it, but don't look at it from a place of fear. You have people that say, "Oh, AI is going to take our jobs." Like, no, AI is not going to take your job. The person that's actually getting upskilled, the person that is actually investing in the program, that's the person that's going to replace the person who denied those certifications or who denied to receive that upskill. That's who's going to replace you, not the technology itself, because there always one has to be a human in the loop, meaning who is that person that knows this product? If it falls out the bottom, this person can go in there and fix it. That's the human in the loop. I think there need to be even more classes at the young level, teaching them how to use it responsibly, that allows them to grow to be young adults, learning these tools at a younger age. Because I think what happens is, it's like when we were coming up, we had to write cursive, and we had cursive in the curriculum as writing. Now, where it is now, like, I don't even think our children or youth now knows how to write in cursive.
That's true.
Because now they have tablets and typing with laptops and stuff like that, so they know how to print.
Right.
When you say, "Hey, sign your name on a check," you're printing instead of writing in cursive. So don't be afraid of it, because there's something that you can use that can enhance what you do now. AI is just a tool. It's not a replacement. It is an enhancement. Yes, sir.
No, go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah, no,
I like it. I like it.
That's what it is. And then the other thing, because I had one of the state representatives came to me and was like, "Hey, can you help out with this data center? People are looking at it as it's a bad thing." And I said, the reason why people are looking at it as a bad thing, because they don't really know what it does. Because data centers have always been here. Always. Most data centers have been owned by Amazon. Because back in the day, the computers used to be really large. There were servers that are housed in a warehouse. The warehouse is now called a data center. When you type something and you hit save and it goes up into the cloud, that cloud is housed in somebody's data center. So data centers have always been here.
Okay.
It's now the language of the naming configuration of a data center is what brings about fear to people. Because data centers, they're saying, "Oh, data center is going to take all the water."
Right.
You got that new subdivision that came down the street. They got 250 new homes. Are you saying that they're not going to take your water?
Right, exactly.
With data centers, what happened with water goes into the system, and then now that water now become a cycle. It doesn't go out anymore. They don't feed it again because it used the same water, to recycle, to cool the data center. That's how that works. It's not taking away from water pressure in the home. It's becoming a cycle in the home. That new 500 subdivision is what minimizes if the city don't bring and build more water towers, not the data center.
Right. I was saying also that, and I've heard about that, and it's like little radiators.
Yeah.
And the water goes in the radiators, and it goes out, and then it just turns back around again. So I did hear about that. I said that's very interesting.
Right. And I'm glad you said it that way, because if you have 100 new cars that come out, you're not going to say, "These cars are going to take all the antifreeze." No, you pour the antifreeze in it to ensure that it's at its proper operating level, and then it's always going to be there. It's going to cool the car down. That analogy is 100% how data centers cool themselves. Now, where the pain points go into it at is where the power. Now, I believe there should be a mandate on power for data centers. Phase 1, build the infrastructure. Phase 2, possibly another development, but at least in its third phase, you build out your solar farm. Because when you build out your solar farm, now that area become it's able to build and stay with its own resources. So the water is cyclic. The resources of the solar farm allows it to not only put power back into the city, because it's generating so much power. It's not going to use all the power. It can take some of the power and then give it back to the city. So there's money that can be made from a data center itself, but people have to understand the language and how it works.
That is good. I mean, I'm glad you brought that out because, like I said, if you notice that the Central Texas area is getting a conglomeration of
Yeah.
data centers, and sometimes, like I said, people fearful, and sometimes people are fearful because of what they don't know, and when they don't know, they fight against it.
Always.
But the idea is it is a good thing. I really do appreciate that, and not only that, but we have to learn to educate ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if we don't educate ourselves, it's nobody's fault but our own. So we have to learn to, just jump in there, and of course, you don't may not know what to do, but at least you get in there and push some buttons, and then you figure out what to do and what not to do. So
100%.
that's how I look at things. What's going on in your life now? You just had a birthday, people. Just had a birthday, so
Turned
happy
30.
belated birthday to Ronnie Russell.
Yeah. Nah, turning 50.
Just a kid, just a
For
kid.
me, yeah, you old. Turning 50 for me brings back memory. As a young private, you got 50-year-olds and you call them old. Now I'm at the age where I used to be the one calling them old. It's an accomplishment to
Hmm.
get to this age because we all know someone that we grew up with that didn't make it
That's
to
true.
30 and 40, let
Hmm.
alone 50. So I'm, very grateful for the opportunity to see life this long, and pray for more visions to have life in continuance as
Yes,
well. Yeah.
I call this gentleman up early in the morning
He
sometime.
does. That's not a lie.
And I'm not lying.
You up?
And yeah, I just because sometimes things be brewing in my mind, and I say, well, I know he can answer this question. I know that he has the know-how. I know he knows the connection,
Yeah.
and so that's why I called him up. And guys, if I call you up early in the morning, I'm already up and I'm ready to move. Okay, my
Yeah.
mind is engaging. So
100%.
I get so excited that we get to talk, and
Yeah.
when I first met you, you like you was all up here. I was like, man, this guy,
Yeah.
he's deep, and not only that, I feel like he's untouchable. And then when I got to really meet you and talk to you, I said, man,
Yeah.
this guy just like me.
Yeah.
He's witty and not only that, but he's fun to be around with, and
Yeah.
he's calm. And I'm still waiting those. He bought me some M&Ms when we was over
Oh
in
my
Mexico, and I still haven't got those M&Ms yet. And it's been what 6-7 months ago, and I called him
goodness.
up
Yeah.
two
It's
months ago. I
almost
said,
an
"Where my M&Ms?"
anniversary.
They said, "Well, I'm sorry, he done he done devoured the
Them things
M&Ms."
is gone.
But I'm still thinking about it. We was in Casameo, I believe it's
Yes.
yes, Casameo, whichever one too. Yeah, and he said, "I got you some M&Ms." He called me up and told me that, and I said, "Okay, where they at?"
You know,
And
he didn't even say thank you. Like, at least say thank you that I
I gotta
thought
have
about you.
hey guys, I gotta have it in my hands before I say thank you, right?
Man. You know what? You and your sister, the same thing. 'Cause the first time I met her, she had M&Ms, and I think I ate the rest of them.
Yes.
The yellow peanut M&Ms. I think I ate the rest of them. And I said, you know what? I owe you an M&M. And I actually, maybe 3 months later, I brought M&Ms for her. So I got you. Before the year is
Yeah.
out, I got
Tell
you.
you what, I cut myself off of sugar, so don't worry
See?
about it.
See?
I didn't need
That's
it.
what he
Didn't need it.
said. At the time when I was thinking about you, saying, nah, I'm cutting back, I'm thinning out. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah.
So what's going on in the Central Texas area that you can share with us?
I know our event. We was going to have Culture on the Square, which is going to be downtown Killeen. We canceled that and we pushed it. We're going to merge it with Juneteenth. But now we're actually going to take the entire event and take it out of Killeen and put it in Harker Heights. So
Okay.
Culture on the Square 2027 is going to be in Harker Heights. I think what's happening a lot in, off the 35 belt, corporations want easy access to the logistics. Meaning, if I get close enough to the highway, these trucks can come off the highway, deliver what they need to deliver, get back on the highway, and keep moving. So there's going to be more corporations that's going to come. I think Temple is positioned so well that it can house large corporations, especially when you go close to the Troy line. When you get back there, there's going to be larger infrastructure that's going to be on the back end on that side. Belton is in a good area. They're kind of a landlocked, with Belton because you run up against the buffer of Temple and you also slammed up against Nolanville. So they're kind of locked out as well. Harker Heights is landlocked. Killeen is landlocked just a little bit. So like Killeen is a city of rooftops. Parker Heights is a city of is a retail city. Mm-hmm. Because when you go through Harker Heights, you got that large retail space on the right side. So Harker Heights is a retail city. Nolanville is another residential city. Like you live in Nolanville, but you work and play and eat everywhere else. Mm-hmm. But they're building their own little, their own minor retail space off the highway. Then you got Belton, who has Belton is good. It's a lot slower than a lot of than Nolanville, and Belton is kind of low key slow. And then you have Temple. Temple is like it's a small metropolis. The way Temple is growing, Ms. Bren is doing a great job as a city manager and managing a budget, but also building as well. When you look at Temple's downtown and against Belton's downtown, against Killeen's downtown, it's like night and day. So Temple is doing a great job economically. Just would like to see more programs for small businesses to come out of Temple. Mm-hmm. I think if Temple had pots to where they can pour into these pots for small businesses, then I think there will be more businesses that will start in the Temple area, because you have a lot of people who live in Temple will go start a business in Killeen because they feel that's where they can make it. Mm-hmm. But if those businesses can stay here in Temple, then it really begins to create an ecosystem. Because right now we have a very linear economy. You may live in Temple, but feel you got to open your business in Killeen, but you may live in Killeen, but now you're working in Temple. Yes. So that linear economy, is what's called economic spillage. I might live in Killeen. I might go to HEB in Harker Heights. I might come to the movies in Temple, or I might turn around and go to the movies in Cove. Like, we share similar resources, but where's the ecosystem? I think Temple is up next with ecosystem. If they create a stronger small business base, I think Temple small business community can really grow and really expeditiously.
Well, I think they're probably watching right now. So y'all heard from the genius over here. What could happen, and it is a lot of potential that does grow in the area.
A whole lot, especially downtown. Yes, it looks really good.
And I like the concept how people say, "What if?" Mm-hmm. Just with a conversation, and that's how it grows.
Right.
So I'm excited about that. Instead of somebody say, "Well, it'll never work." Yeah. Well, you never know unless you try.
True.
Just try, and then if it don't work, oh well, we just go back to the drawing board again. Right. So I really appreciate that. Yeah. I like to explore your mind, because your mind is way out there. It's beyond the ordinary. And you have the concept of not allowing yourself to be put in a box.
Right.
And I like that. Yeah. That's why I like calling you and say, "Man, what do you think about this?" And he's like Confucius. He'll tell you. He'll talk 10 minutes on the phone. You done dropped the phone, went to sleep, and woke back up, and he's still talking. But no, it's all good though. Just playing.
No,
but it's always great information that you spill out and give to the community, and you're not selfish. Yeah. I like that about you. And what those M&Ms that you sitting behind me at the what's name? You did. You ate them all up. I remember that.
Man, I did.
Well, I kind of looked over my shoulder, and you just finishing it up. So well. It's all gone. But the idea is, you are who you are. I am who I am, and it's fun to just have you here just to talk and chat and everything else. Because, like saying, you could have been other places, but you chose to come here. 100%. Thank you, sir. You wasn't forced. You wasn't. You wasn't just saying, well, if you be here or else. You like to be here, so it's good. It's good to have fun. So tell me about IBCC and how it's growing. Not only that, but the membership. I mean, it's growing.
So the membership, it's definitely growing, but the way that you grow a membership is through your services. Like, what do you provide to them? How are you enhancing their experience? So I am always auditing what we do. Like, what's our outbound and inbound? Like, how are we reaching out to people, and what do we do when we get them? Like, how does that work? Um, so with the, we're coming up on 300. We fluctuate, but now our our the rate of more businesses coming in is a lot higher because we're now doing more outbound. There's more programs that we did in the beginning, but there are those programs we did in the beginning. We're going to bring some of them back because a lot of times people don't know how to do business in the city that they're in because the city's not telling them how to do business with them.
Right.
So we're going to bring that back, which is called a how to do business series. We did it in Killeen. We did it at the county. We did it with Texas A&M. We did it with the city of Killeen, because there are people that want to do business with their city, but they don't know the avenue to do business with them and the documentation. Like, are you a vendor with your city? If you're not a vendor with your city, then you can't do business with your city. They don't even know that you want to do business with them. So giving our members the opportunity to be as successful as they were when they started, because it started as an idea, like you said, it started as an idea. But can we take your idea and make it a reality? Can we extend that reality to something that's sustainable and doing it that way? And there's some resources that we're bringing into the city, into this area, because this area is a CDFI desert. So what a CDFI is a community development financial institution. There's no CDFI in this area, and we're bringing them up here in the area. We're going to establish an MOU, so when banks can't fund you, a CDFI can. A CDFI.
Hey, y'all hear this? It's deep. Okay.
Right. So a CDFI, typically they're going to take you through a program. So this CDFI is coming out of Austin. They have, I think, like 6 or 7 other locations throughout the state. They're going to come. They have accelerator programs. The accelerator programs are virtual. Once you are finished with the accelerator program, you have the opportunity to apply for $50,000. But they want to make sure you're bankable by the time you get to that point. And the other thing that I like about them is, at the end of the program, they're going to give you $3,000 to help you pay off or down on your credit. So outside of the $50,000, here is a $3,000 grant for you to pay. Now, they're not just giving you $3,000. Like, show me where your debt is. Now let's pay this debt down or pay this debt off. They're going to look at what has the highest utilization rate. You're going to either pay that down or pay it off, or spread it amongst 3 or 4 other bills. So now, in doing that, that is going to increase your credit worthiness, because now your credit score is going to go up. So now you're having this $50,000 that they're giving you because you graduated from the course. So they have 2 or 3 accelerators. They have one for women, they have a BIPOC accelerator, and they have one for the veterans. And all of those are going to be virtual. So our goal is to bring more resources in this area. Again, we're headquartered in Killeen. We're not solely fixed in Killeen. We're able and have the autonomy to shift and move into areas as long as there's no other black chamber there.
That is awesome, guys. See the information that comes out of this gentleman. I mean, it's he's got a lot of information, and not only that, but he shares it. That's the key. He shares it. He doesn't say, "Well, I know, but I'm not going to tell you." And I like how you said about going back and doing some things that worked back then, because that is the church mantra for 2026. It's called Back to the Future. And what it talks about is that go back and see what worked back then and bring it back again. Because sometimes we do something and we say, oh, we don't wore that out. But no, as long as it worked, keep doing it until it get engulfed in somebody's system. And then they repetitious. Keep doing it, and then they not only do that, but they'll thrive. And it also comes from Jeremiah 6:16. And I'm looking at it right over there. It says, stay at the crossroad and look. Ask for the ancient pathway. Ask where God, the good way is, and walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls. And that's Jeremiah 6:16. So that's, so when you said that, and we even doing that with the church here, we saw what worked back then, but we got a little older, and we feel like, well, that was yesteryear. But we have to learn to rekindle that back again. Reason is because that's how the church grows. And God grows the church. We can have 700 different programs, but it doesn't affect whatsoever. But once it gets inside a system of people, then they tell somebody else, then they tell somebody else. They don't have to come to the church because they like the pastor, or even in some of the members, but it's because of giving instillment, and not only that, but giving innovation to hope for the future.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we live sometimes just day to day, but sometimes you gotta look far in advance, look in the spirit realm and see some things. You're like, wow, that can really happen. So let me push myself toward that direction, or aim myself that way, and then go for it. So I like to say, you just don't know, but when I talk to you, you pull things out of me that I didn't know that was in me. I'm like, man, I didn't know that. So, Jesse, write this down. So we'll know some things. So I said, okay, I can do that. Okay, and then I be I get pushed to a different level, and I like that. I said, you think you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to get out of the room. So that's why I brought. That's why you here, you Jesse here, and what y'all know, and the intellect that y'all bring to me. I believe me, I use it. I just don't sit there and say, oh well, it's good information. What good is having good information when you don't never use it?
And that's one of the things. Like, there's a program that we're developing, and we're approaching the which I know you'll have one here, like the Ministerial Alliance.
Yes, sir.
Because there's a conglomerate of churches, and I think that we have been appointed to ensure that the church is also ran properly as the business.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people would do church, but they won't do business.
Yes.
You started the church, then you figured out it's actually 501c3. So now you have to go through the business side. And our goal is to audit the church's programs, to make sure those programs make sense, to make sure that those programs are actually going after the grants that actually go into the programs, and also bringing in an energy consultant that will look at your energy to make sure that you're being charged what you're supposed to be charged and not overpaying. So when you're now overpaying, because when churches are in church, the lights stay on for long periods of time.
Amen.
So when we're auditing the energy, we're also making sure that you're actually being charged what you're supposed to be charged.
Yes.
So we're going to create those things for the churches to make sure the churches have a sustainable lifespan as well. Because a lot of times when people say I started a business, that church is a business too.
It is.
Lights got to get paid. Water has to be paid. The communion ain't free.
Right. Exactly.
The lights that are in the church are being paid from that's get paid because it's a bill. So we're going to make sure that the churches are just as successful as the businesses that people go to throughout the day.
Yes, I instilled this to the congregants that's here. I said, the world has great equipment and everything. Why the churches can't have the same thing?
Yeah.
Why the churches gotta have one mic and on the pastor only have that, and no AC, so they roll the windows up, and not only that, but when you walk through the door, the usher hand you a fan saying, well, it's gonna be hot, so you might as well just go and just have fun. But the idea is, we could come into a relaxed place. It's 70 degrees up in here, and we got a remote control and everything. So, and we got, beautiful cameras, and it's 4K. So, I'm so excited about that, So we push things. We got Bose speakers back there, and we just try to do the right thing. Because I don't like with just one speaker, and like saying it's like, we waiting on God, and God said, no, I'm waiting on you to get with the program. I gave you all the tools. I gave you all the information. I gave you my son. And he said through him you can do all things. But the idea is sometimes, we're waiting on God, and God said, no, well, I guess you ain't gonna get it then, because I'm telling you, I'm waiting on you, because you know the word, use the word.
True.
The word works. So I get so excited. I'm a pastor, so I got to talk about the word. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good to for you to come this direction, give information out. And I know there's a lot of things that's inside of you, and the Bible says, "Stir up the gifts that's inside of you." And that means that things that may have laid dormant, but it's still inside of you as you came out of your mother's womb, and at the right appointed time, it would burst out. And so there's some things that I know. Another thing I got excited when we was at Bell County at the judge's office, and how that happened. It was so exciting. I just happened to walk in on it. Of course, I had to get my name in the photo and everything. But you pushed and strived, and you didn't do it with a argument. You didn't do it with an attitude. You didn't do it to we the people. You didn't do that. You went in there with respect, and I know when they called your name to come get the proclamation, you walked real slow. I said, why is he walking so slow? Up there. I guess he was just training his thoughts. But so as you watch me, I watch you too. So we watch each other. But I thought that was a great accomplishment. How people could come together and work in a unified body with a positive attitude. Not only that, but with respect.
True.
So I like that. I like that so much. I mean, I'm like, wow. I said this guy's doing it. So I got to get close to him. So we energize each other. So I'm so excited.
Yeah.
What else you want to tell us about yourself?
There's a lot more work to do.
Yes.
Like you said, stir up the gift. I think for me, there's more to come, because I think, like, I'm constantly being stretched, and I can feel when I'm being stretched. When I'm quiet, that's because that I'm supposed to be in that quiet space, because that's where the ideas develop. That's where the growth happens. It's just like when you plant a seed, it's not noisy underground.
Right.
Yeah, it's quiet. It's that dark place. It's that dark space. That's how, when the seed is planted, then it sticks its foot out and it becomes planted and rooted into what it's doing. So I know I have a lot more to do. I think that it's all going to come to pass, because I was brought here on purpose. I tell people all the time, your purpose was given to you on purpose. It wasn't a mistake in how you walk with your purpose, because your purpose was a development, because through your purpose, it creates aha moments. And I think that because I know what my calling was, and I know what my purpose was, I can stand upright in a building, in a meeting, because there's nothing that person can say that will minimize my purpose, because it was for me. Before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you, so my purpose was always there. It was ready. It was there until it was formed. So as I was formed and I came out of the womb, or as the purpose was given to you and it took shape and it was formed, now it becomes tangible. Now the chamber starts. Now the program starts. Now, business development starts. Now, the membership grows. So it had to be an idea first that took shape, because now when it takes shape, now it's formed.
Yes.
And I think knowing that, I mean, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of things that we need to do different. There's a lot of things that we always have the opportunity to do better. And I'm not afraid to do better. I will stand in the face of accountability in order for me to learn. If there is something for me to learn, I'm willing to grow through it in order for me to get to it. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep right there. You quoting scriptures. I'm listening to you.
That's YouTube.
Yeah, he is. He throwing scriptures. That's okay, but at least you quote it. So it's all good. Not only that, but you are a pusher. Most people back in the day say pusher mean drugs, but now you are a pusher in education. You're a pusher in let's do better. You're a pusher in let's not just settle. Let's not be the normal.
Correct.
But go beyond that. So I'm telling you guys, he pushing some out of me that I'm like, man, I let this guy just get me into a different realm.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate that in you. You know, you probably don't hear from me all the time. We joking and what's that, shuck and jive with each other. But he does those different things. You know, he could pull some things out of you that you didn't know. And not only that, but I would. I was raised up in Texas, but I left Texas. I lived in Kentucky and I lived in Tennessee. And I wasn't planning on ever coming back to Texas again. And lo and behold, here I am in Texas. So the old saying going, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans, and he just turns them all the way around. So that's not what I got for you. I got this plan over here. So you go ahead and run and do what you need to do. But I know where you're gonna be going at the pretty close to the end.
I ran for a long time.
Yeah.
Because so how I got here, I say it real quick too. So how I got here is I had to let go.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Hawaii. I started Hawaii's first tattoo magazine. I don't know how everything lined up with stateside, meaning I came on orders the first time. I go to my sergeant major. I was like, hey, sergeant major, I got orders to go to Fort Hood. I don't want to go. I started Hawaii's tattoo magazine. I want to stay here. He said, all right, cool, no problem. I'll talk with the infantry sergeant major. We were drill sergeants together. So he calls them. He cancels my orders, and now my orders is canceled. I said, all right, cool. 3 months later, I get placed on orders again to come to Fort Hood. So I go to my Colonel Nealon. I'll never forget him. Colonel Nealon. I said, hey, Colonel Nealon, I came on orders again, and I want to stay here. He said, all right, cool, no problem. He said, I'll call the officer branch. Him and the colonel over there at the officer branch, they went to war college together. So he calls him and get my orders canceled. And now I said, I'm good. I'm thinking I'm good. Again, I didn't know that they knew people on the other side. So then I come down to orders again. So then I go to like a GS-15 in the civilian world. It was real high. But the person that was a GS-15, he used to be my previous colonel. He was replaced by Colonel Nealon, which was Colonel Callahan. We had a great relationship. So I go to, hey, Mr. Callahan, I came down to orders. I don't want to go. He said, all right, let me call down there. Because the GS-15 on the infantry branch side, him and Colonel Callahan served together. It was crazy. They served together. And he said, hey, I've seen you in the system. You've been canceled a couple of times. I can cancel you now, but if you get placed orders again, he said, I can't do anything. I said, all right, go ahead and cancel it. He cancels it. 4 months later, when I tell you I was upset, 4 months later, I get orders again to come to Fort Hood. I called my mom. I was upset. And I said, Ma, I give up. I said, I give up. I said, because whatever it is that I'm supposed to see, I'm not going to see till I get to the other side. And then it's like as soon as I gave up in fighting it, and I came over to Texas, and then I got over there and said, I'm sorry, we don't have a job for you. Oh, my goodness. I was so upset. I said, I fought the system, and then I come over here, and now you say I don't have a job. But what I didn't know, all of these things were provisions, set out for me, and I didn't know it. And then they said they didn't have a job for me. And then I was in this unit, and then they took me out of the unit and put me in 3 Corps because I was upset they didn't have a job. So when they took me out of there and put me in 3 Corps, that unit that they took me from went to Afghanistan in 2 weeks. They came down on orders to go to Afghanistan. I was like, shoot, all right. I said, hey, I'll shut up. I hear you. I shut up. So then when I leave that place and they put me in another location, then they send me to Korea. And I wasn't supposed to leave to go to Korea because I just came from overseas. So then I go to Korea, and then my son calls me. He said, Dad, I want to come live with you. And in that moment, again, I would have not seen what I was supposed to see until I let go to get to the other side. And then at that moment when my son said, Dad, I don't come live with you, it's like things begin to line up, like with Abraham and Sarah, because Sarah wanted to have a child, but Abraham wanted to have a child too. But Sarah knew she couldn't have a child So Sarah then goes to Hagar, and Hagar said, "Hey, I can't have a child. I need you to have a child with my husband." Sarah had to let go to allow her husband to go lay with another woman in order for them to have a child. So she has Ishmael, who is his true firstborn, and he has Ishmael. And soon as she, she becomes pregnant, he has Ishmael, and Sarah has a child. Now she's now pregnant because everyone has a period of letting go.
Yes.
And then when he ascends and go up the mountain, he has to take his firstborn. It was supposed to have been Ishmael because he's the true firstborn.
Right, right.
But Ishmael had every opportunity to say, no, that's my birthright. I'm the firstborn. But Ishmael had to let go too.
Yes, yeah.
So when he let go and let Abraham now go up the mountain, he had every opportunity to run and say, Dad, where's the sacrifice? And he had to notice that it is him. And like soon as he let go, then what happened? The ram came.
Right.
Everyone had to let go in order for the alignment to be able to take place. And that was like all the points that got me to get to the point to where my son said, Dad, because I've been trying to get my son since he was 7.
Wow.
To the point to where my son said, Dad, I want to come live with you. Like it was the Sarah and the Abraham and the Sarah and the Hagar and the Ishmael and like all of that stuff. In order for me to have my son, like I had to know that it wasn't about me. Let go, because the things that you let go of are going to allow the things that you're supposed to have to manifest itself.
Wow, that's deep.
That's how I got to Texas, by letting go.
Wow. And I like how you put the scripture in there and gave give the lineage and how it happened. Not only that, but I thought about something. I said, Moses, he didn't say, "Are you sure?" He just he was gone fast. He was in that tent. But the idea is it happened. Okay. So it's so good that we can sit there and just talk and just have fun. We don't always have to have an agenda. At this present time. But one thing we have to do is just open our mouth up and let Lord use us. So and so you got your son, and not only that, what else going on in your life?
That's about it.
No, I can tell you something else, but I'm gonna hold off on that one.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, all right.
Trying to go through new developments and getting things done.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for giving me a shot of just exploring your mind. Just open yourself up and let your left and right brain connect.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so I really do appreciate that. So thank you, everybody. Mr. Ronnie Russell, IBCC Innovation Black Chamber of Commerce here in the Central Texas area. Thank you for joining us this evening. I say us because other people are watching. Yeah. So I would say us. And don't forget now, just give you a heads up on the June the 20th, and that is Juneteenth. The New Day Learning Academy is having a celebration, and the celebration is a comedy hour. And so that'll take place from 6 to 8 at the CAC, and it's a cultural activity center here in Temple. Get ready, get your QR code out. There'll be tickets that need to be sold, but we're excited, and the board of a New Day Learning Academy put this together, and so we're excited that it's going to happen because, we need to instill information to our children out there, but we don't want our kids deprived, but we want our kids to thrive and thrive in an excellent way. So put that on your calendar, June 20th, 2026. We're going to have a comedy hour. You can laugh, giggle, fun, kick somebody in front of you that's in the chair, but, just don't watch out who you kick because we don't want nothing, we're not there to, to call the ambulance after that happened. But the idea is we know that God is good. So thank you for joining us with Mr. Ronnie Russell. Yeah! Look at it all swell all up. Hey, guys, let you know it's all about him and not about us. Get excited what God is doing in your life. Goodbye.
Great day, and thank you for tuning in to A New Day Fellowship Church. We are so grateful that you joined us, and we pray that you were blessed by hearing God's living word. May his message inspire you to continue walking in faith, trusting that he is working all things together for your good. As we close out this service, feel free to leave a word of encouragement in the comments and share your testimony with others. Together, we can inspire and uplift those around us to live for God. Remember, this is your season. Hold on to his promises, stand firm in your faith, and watch as God does great things in your life. Continue to be blessed, and we look forward to seeing you